Nike does not own most of the factories that manufacture its products. It spends billions on marketing and on machines. And yet, its margin outperforms many companies that control their entire supply chain. Welcome to One Company, One Story. It's about one company, one decision, and one lesson. This podcast is based on publicly available information and is intended for educational purposes only. Nike began in the year 1960s as a Blue Ribbon Sports, founded by Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman. Bowerman's obsession was in branding. It was biomechanics, that is lighter shoes, better traction, and faster athletes. Early Nike succeeded because it worked better, not because it looked better. But Nike quickly realized something fundamental. Performance advantages fades. Perception compounds. Now let's look into why Nike is unusual. The original idea was Nike doesn't own factories. It spends on marketing. Still, they make high profits. So in simple terms, Nike doesn't actually make most of the shoes. Other companies, they buy factories, they buy machines, they hire workers for it, and they make product by themselves. Whereas Nike, they tell other factories, you make it. And Nike focuses on design, brand, and story. Why this matters? Because the factories cost huge money and they give low profit, whereas brand gives high profit without actually owning the machines. Why did Nike first work? So here's a simple vision. Nike didn't start as a cool brand. They started as lighter shoes, better grip, and it's better for athletes. People bought Nike because this shoes helps me to run better. But here's the truth of economics. This is the key area. That is, the product advantages don't last forever. Soon the competitors copy them. So Nike realized, we can't win forever just by better shoes. So here's the shift. From the product to belief. What Nike changed? Nike stopped saying that our shoes is better. Nike started saying, people like you wear Nike. So when Michael Jordan happened, shoes became status. Shoes became identity. And shoes became emotion. Now people buy Nike because this brand represents success. This brand represents winner. Again, economics in simple terms, people pay more when they buy with emotion, not logic. So the brand adds distribution. This is very important because the normal distribution is generally factory, shop to the customer. Whereas Nike distribution looks like from the athlete to the culture to the customer. So instead of pushing shoes into stores, Nike pushed desire into people's mind. So the customer search for Nike. They wait for the price to drop and they pay premium prices. So in simple terms, it's just that Nike doesn't chase customers. Customers chase Nike. So it's basically control the mind, not the machine. Why Nike avoided factories? Because factories are expensive, it's a fixed cost, and it's risky if the demand falls. Whereas the brand is flexible, scalable, and they have a high margin. So Nike chooses the brand. They let other manufacture. They control design, logo, story, and pricing. The simple analogy is, Nike owns the movie rights and not the cinema hall. So now let's look into the pricing power. Why Nike can charge more? So for example, the two shoes look similar. Nike cost around 10,000 rupees. The generic brand costs around 4,000 rupees. But people still buy Nike. Why? Because they are not buying rubber and cloth. They are buying status, confidence, and identity. The economic role here is, if the customers stop comparing prices, you win. This is called pricing power. the ability to charge more without losing customers. Nike built apps. Earlier, retailers controlled pricing. Discounts hurt brand image. So Nike decided, we want direct control. What they did? They built apps, sold directly, and collected customer data. So the trade-offs are more control and more responsibility, like delivery and inventory. Nike chose control over comfort. They gained more control in it. Where can this fail? This is the important reality check. The brand alone isn't enough forever. If the shoes become bad, or the innovation stops, or even the quality drops, then the belief just fades away. So here's a simple truth. Marketing can amplify a good product, not save a bad one forever. So here's a very big lesson from Nike. Brand works like roads and electricity. Once it's built, everything moves faster. Everything becomes cheaper. Profit lasts longer. But road needs maintenance. Belief needs proof. So Nike doesn't sell shoes. It sells belief. And the belief lets them charge more, grow faster, and survive longer. So that was Nike, marketing as an infrastructure. The next episode is about OYO, speed without system. This is Shruti signing off. See you in the next episode of One Company, One Story.